Let's start work on our scripts by modifying the old pages that we wrote for the login system to work with our forum system. One obvious thing that can be simplified about our login system is that on our logout page we have an option here to make sure that the user is logged in. However, if the user is not logged in, we also have an option here. Now, we could just as well take our entrance page, which is just pure static HTML, and include that data within the logout page where we've written you haven't even logged in yet, and we could turn the whole thing into the entrance to our site. So we can put our welcome message here, welcome to the great debate, and then we can have our unregistering information here. A better way to do this perhaps would be session destroy. That would make sure that all the variables that we've stored in our session have been removed. It might help as well if we arranged our page so that the welcome message came first and we put the logout information after. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same. We could make these messages more explicit. And perhaps we could reverse their order as well. Otherwise, we're keeping this page pretty much as it was. However, another problem arises when we see that the logout title is displayed, even if this is a new user arriving at the site for the first time. First of all, let's save our file under a different name so that we keep our old login system. And we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it Great Debate. And we're going to save it under the name enter.php rather than logout, because this is going to be used as our entrance page primarily and our logout page as well. So we have the problem here that can be fixed by, potentially fixed by simply adding an echo statement here, and maybe we could add an echo statement down here that will say welcome. However, the problem now is that we now have the title of the page up here, and it's all starting to get a bit heavy if we're including a different title here and a different title here. However, it's very easy for us to find a solution to this, because setting up the page should be done in the same way for all of our pages within the forum website. So it would make sense for us to include a function that would set up the page automatically based on certain arguments that it's fed, rather than including copied data on a lot of different pages. We could do this by, if we open a new document, and we're going to save this one straight away as forum inc for include. We'll save that, and we're going to set up a function. We're going to call it setup page, and it's going to take a title and some header text. What this is going to do is it's simply going to set up all the HTML that we'll use within each of the pages that we're going to create. We'll be able to customize the title by including the title as an argument of the function. We'll also be able to customize what comes right at the beginning. We can put in a whole style sheet here so that we can specify exactly what each of our HTML styles should look like, and we can keep it consistent between pages. Because this is relatively simple, we're not going to use cascading style sheets. And really that's a whole different area of web technology that is irrelevant to PHP. But we can keep a certain amount of data in this internal style sheet, which is served by our PHP script onto every HTML page that the browser will receive. So we can set up a number of different styles to make sure that each of our pages is consistent. Here we're setting up the color for the hyperlinks. We're also going to have the colors for hovering over the hyperlink and for what they'll look like after they've been visited. So for the hyperlink, as we hover over them, we can use a bright yellow, and then after they've been visited, we could use an orangey red. That's our style part of it. And then our body, we can specify background color, and let's say we choose a deep blue. And we don't need to specify any particular text color because we've done all of that within our style tags. Although it might make sense in case for any quirks of HTML we end up outside of those particular styles. Then we're going to put in a logo, and I've included the logo on the CD, and we're going to need to put a copy of that within the directory on the web server's document root. And we're setting it up to put the logo at the top of every page. Then for our header, we're going to break out of the string for a moment, and we're going to include the head text, which is the variable that was fed to this function as an argument. Finally, we're going to set a variable that can be read outside of the function. So we're going to declare a global variable And that's our function for now. Let's save that. And we're going to use this on our enter page. The way we do that is simply to include or we're going to say require. Include would do a similar job, and we need to keep that within PHP script. And we can take out all of this HTML formatting and simply go straight to the if statement. And instead of this here, which says log out, we're just going to ask it to set up page with the great debate, and it's going to be site entrance is what will be fed to the setup page function as the header for the page. And then we're going to have a welcome message here. I'm probably going to expand on that later, but that'll do for now. Then we can say, if the user has not been logged in, I beg your pardon, this is the choice if the user has been logged in, but if the user has not, then we need to tell them that they've been logged out. So we call the setup page function, and logout is the title we give to the page, and the same title for the header. And then we'll offer these same links as per normal. So this works quite similarly to our logout and entrance pages, but it ends up saving one of the pages. Before we preview that in our browser, let's make sure that the graphic file has been added to the directory that we just created. We need to copy the logo.gif file into the Great Debate folder. Now let's go to our browser, and we can look up our entrance page, Great Debate, enter.php, and as we can see, we've been correctly identified as a user who's not been logged in, and so we've been given the message site entrance. In our next movie, we're going to continue to customize the login system for our forum site.